Oh, really?
I don't know if it's going to have a shaking place.
Hey, you showed up on time.
They're having fun.
What's up? How y'all doing this evening? How you doing, all right? Yeah. Hey, boy, I'm so excited to be here to do comedy for some fellow veterans. I came here 2 weeks ago. I guess I was They'll be like, what are you doing, guys? I said, I'm here for comedy. They said, no, you're not. We having bingo. But I'm back again. I love doing comedy for veterans. Hey, what's up with this mic? Can you hear me? There you go. Hey, do we have any retirees? Raise your hand. Retirees? That's what it was. That's
my baby right there.
On the whole! That's what I'm talking about. How many years?
20 years, 5 months, 20 days.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm talking about. You're overachiever.
Well, he's obviously not the smartest one.
Yeah, I did 20 years, 1 month, 3 weeks, 10 days, 5 hours, and 30 minutes. Hey, but I wasn't keeping up with all of that. And I love telling jokes. I even love telling jokes about my own family when they do or say something crazy. Like that time my son called his mom for Mother's Day. She was asleep, so I answered her phone. I said, hello? He said, you ain't my mama. I said, I know it. I ain't your daddy either. That bothered my son so much, he wanted to take one of those ancestry tests. I don't know about y'all, but I like messing with my son. He's a real cool dude, boy. He's 32 years old. He just graduated college, magna cum laude. Oh, yeah. Thank you. He gets the brain from his mama. I was a dumb motherfucker. I hated school, boy. But I like messing with him, boy. I remember he told me, he said, Dad, I'm about to graduate college, magna cum laude. I said, congratulations, son. Do that mean the bottom of the class like your daddy? My grandson said, Papa, you rude. I said, you ever seen rude wake out there in the deep end of a swimming pool and you can't swim? Now that's rude. So recently I went to visit my 95-year-old grandmother. I haven't seen her in 4 years. She had a sign on that door that said, watch your step, and I didn't pay any attention, right? So when she came to the door, I gave her a hug. I squeezed her so tight, she started kicking and screaming, get off me, with an attitude, right? So I backed up off and apologized to her. I said, I'm sorry, Grandma, did I squeeze you too tight? She said, no, you stupid motherfucker, you were stepping on my nipples. She said, did you read the damn sign? You know I got these orangutan titties. Hey, the moral of the story is reading is fundamental and gravity is for real, people. So I just got back from New York last night. I did a show at Rodney Dangerfield Comedy Club. Oh yeah, thank you. That was a dream come true because he always been one of my favorite comedians, him and Richard Pryor. After the show, we went to this fancy restaurant to celebrate our 10th year anniversary. They had our table decorated extremely nice. Y'all should have seen it. They had music, candlelight, flowers, and Tim Malone just said happy anniversary on it. But we noticed this older couple kept staring at us. They looked like they could have been in the 80s, I guess. Later on, they came over and introduced themselves to us. They said that they were celebrating the 65th anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah, we said, wow, congratulations. They said, thank you. You two, y'all remind us so much of ourselves when we was your age. And y'all make a beautiful couple. We said, thank you. Try to tell that to our spouses. So speaking of spouses, after 35 years of marriage, I finally started to rub off on my wife. Get your mind out the gutter. Ain't saying start to rub one out on them. It's a difference, you know. The reason I say that is because my wife is a very serious person. She don't normally joke around like I do. But the other day I was trying to fabricate a piece of material to go inside my suit coat pocket. And I told my wife, I said, I need to find something black and white to go behind this piece of material. She said, good luck with that. She said, hell, I've been trying to find something black and white for 35 years. She said, that's it out loud. I said, no, the whole room heard you. So I can't believe O.J. Simpson died. I ran into him when he first got out of prison in Florida. He was working in SWAT meet selling knives. I bought a knife from him. He put it to the side and said, look here, young brother. If them gonna do the trick, I know this one will. I used this before in 1995. They come with the gloves. He said, I had 2 gloves, but I think Johnny Cochran must have hid that glove. I can't find it. So my niece came over to the house the other day, unannounced. She was popping like a magician. And my wife and I, we were home chilling watching Netflix. My wife still on her pajamas, and old t-shirts and gym shorts, and a pair of Harley Davidson sneakers I purchased online off of Temu. You know, Temu got that knockoff shit, right? It's real cheap, right? Come from China. Evidently, the sneakers I had on look like the ones that Kanye West came out with called Yeezys. Have y'all heard of those? They're expensive, aren't they? See, I didn't know that until my niece asked. She said, Uncle Herbie, are those Yeezys you wearing? She was dead serious, too. I said, well, it just depends on how much they cost. She said, they're only $600. I said, $600? Hell no, these aren't Yeezys. These Negro pieces for $59.95. I wish I would pay $600 for a pair of sneakers. Shit. So my cousin, she upset with me. She got upset with me because all of us were getting ready to go out to dinner. It was me, my wife, my cousin, and her fiance. My cousin was in the room getting dressed. Now, all of a sudden, I heard her yell out, yo, cuz, can I holler at you for a minute? So I went to her room. I said, what's up? She said, I need you to be honest with me, okay? I said, come on, man. That's the only way I know how to be. I spent 20 years in the Army, and integrity is when I said among the values, so I live by that. She said, okay. Then she asked me that famous female question. Y'all know the one that all females ask men. She said, does this dress make me look big? I said, no, not at all. As a matter of fact, you make it look small. Ever seen a hurt mercy? I know I'm gonna hear from them. You know I know? I see over $100. That's all I know. So when I was a drill sergeant, I used to love playing tricks on the new recruits. I remember one time we was at the gun range. We had just got to qualify a soldier with their weapon, and we were waiting on transportation to come pick us up and take us back to the barracks. But they called and told us they were like 45 minutes late because one of the cattle trucks broke down. Y'all remember those, don't you? They stuffed you there and say, make your buddy smile. So I said, okay, no problem. I just passed time by messing with the soldiers. So I told the private, I said, private, I got bad news. We missing 15 rounds of ammunition. If we don't find that, call them police so they can lock down the base. They're not going to let anybody on or off the base. Then we have to do a cavity search on each one of them. I said, you see this building behind me? We're going to take it out one at a time. We have stripped butt booty naked. You're going to be able to split your butt cheek support. And we're going to run a hand between your butt cheeks like a credit card. I said, but before we go through all that, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to find the ammo. Time starts now. Go! While I was taking out their catalogs, checking the pockets on the uniform like they're looking for some money. I said, private, 5 minutes has left. You have 5 minutes remaining. Now the private started getting antsy, right? And you can hear them talking. And you always hear that one private think you can whoop everybody. You know that alpha male, that hardcore private? He said, y'all getting the ammo, turn it in. Y'all always doing stupid stuff. Y'all do cap search me, I'm gonna kick y'all butt. I said, private, time's up. I said, look, I hate to see y'all getting in any trouble, but we catch y'all with any ammo on you after today, we gonna lock you up in confinement for 4 years, then we gonna kick y'all going with dishonorable discharge. That's a felony. And that's a felony. Y'all can fuck I'm old, I'm 60, goddamn. That's a felony. We didn't get y'all anywhere. So I'm gonna give you one last opportunity to take 2 steps forward and turn that on with no repercussion. The apple pie took 2 steps forward, right? I said, good, somebody with some integrity around here. I said, Private Williams, do you have any ammo to turn in? He said, no, drill sergeant. I said, why the hell did you get out of formation? He said, because I want to go first, drill sergeant. I said, why do you want to go first, Private Williams? He said, I quote, he said, because y'all gonna stick y'all hands up all they booties. I don't want y'all sticking y'all hands up mine. I said, wrong answer. Get get your dope smelling ass back in formation. We on alphabetical order. You understand me, Robert Williams?
That's right, boys.
I remember another time our platoon was outside in formation. Now the platoon sergeant was inside having a meeting with the first sergeant, and he was telling us that he needed 3 volunteers from each platoon to go clean up the PT field because the colonel and the sergeant major doing a walkthrough. Now everybody in the military knows you don't volunteer for nothing, am I right?
Right.
Even the privates know that shit. So I came with this bright idea. I went outside dribbling the basketball. I said, I'm looking for 3 volunteers to join the unit basketball team. You should have seen the hands flying in the air. I said, I need 3 really good ball handlers. There's one part from New York said, drill sergeant. I was the starting point guard for my high school basketball team in Brooklyn, New York. You know what I'm saying, son? I got mad handlers, kid. Can't nobody hold me. Work apart, stand up. You know, I said, okay, I see you. You're a true point guard. He said, you already know it, son. And that was a white dude. This other private said, drill sergeant. My dad's a high school basketball coach in Tampa, Florida. And I've been playing this high school place and I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I used to take it to the hole then, and I definitely take it to the hole now. I'm like, that'll work. This other dude, big black dude, he about 6'5", 250. He talk kind of slow. He said, drill sergeant. I played 2 years of college ball for Texas University. Go Longhorns. I said, good, get me to come up here. I said, y'all see these 3 right here? They're about to make history. Everybody started clapping and whistling for them and everything. I said, man, Hammers, I'm putting you in charge. I said, I want you grasshopper Longhorns to go in there and grab those rakes and shovels and jump up and down that PT field and get that trash up. So, since I retired from the military, I noticed they changed their rules and regulations. Because now I'm starting to see a lot of overweight soldiers and soldiers wearing beards and goatees. When I was in the military, we couldn't wear beards and goatees. Now everybody's wearing them. I ran into a person I know, they had a nice goatee. He had the handlebar mustache, the curl on the end, and everything. I asked him, I said, how do you get your goatee to look like that? She said.
That's my favorite book.
So, a couple of weeks ago, I had a pool party at my house. And after everybody got through swimming, everybody left except my brother-in-law. He retired Navy guy. They don't speak the same lingo as those Army guys. We use a lot of acronyms. But I like messing with him just to piss him off. I remember he got out the shower, he yelled out to me, he said, yo, brother-in-law, you got any lotion? I said, no, I got some PSG. Look in the medicine cabinet. He was there about 5 minutes looking around. He said, I don't see it. I said, look on the top shelf in the back left-hand corner. He said, all I see is Vaseline. I said, that's it. He got pissed. He said, why you call it PSG? I said, because it's paper spanking grease. So, recently I had take a trip on this riverboat. Anybody been on a riverboat? Yeah, that's fine enough. Man, the boat I was on, it was full to capacity, and I was the only black person on there. So I told the captain, I said, whatever you do, please don't let nothing happen to this boat. It wasn't that I was scared I would drown or anything, but it's the fact I know how black people are. We'll watch the news and be like, that's what he get. He had no business on there with all the white people by himself. He on there doing white people shit.
True.
He said learned enough about the people that drowned in Branson, Missouri. So I did a show in Los Angeles, California one time in Chinatown. Y'all been to Chinatown?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's, like all the Asians over here, that's where they go, right? And while I was on stage performing, I witnessed one of the funniest things I've ever seen before in my life. This Korean dude came there with a dog on a leash. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've been in Korea for 3 years, so I know what they eat, right? So I asked him, I said, sir, is that dog for seeing or for dinner?
Come on!
Hey, you know that be like me walking here with a chicken on the leash. Oh, y'all know that chicken be in trouble, right? That chicken be on death row walking a green mile. Hey, y'all be screaming things out like, dead chicken walking. So when I was 10 years old, I was a bad little kid. I was so bad, my parents had to homeschool me. But once a week, they would send me to this private school. I didn't like it too much, though, because the teacher was mean as a drill sergeant. I remember the first day of school, the teacher told me, he said, Hurley King, I want you to come in here, sit your never behind down, shut up, and open your book. I was terrified. I said, who is this teacher, and what kind of school is this? Well, come to find out years later, I was going to Sunday school. There was a deacon up there talking crazy. They said he did 3 tours of Vietnam and he was having flashbacks. So, growing up in the ghettos, well, I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois, so I had to grow up fast, right? And I went to all black school. It's different going to integrated school, because in all black school, you have to be ready to fight every day. And I went to school with some pretty big dudes, boy, and most of them had beards and shit already. And this was in grade school. But there's things around here that y'all take for granted. For instance, when y'all go to the bathroom, y'all have real signs on y'all doors, don't you? See, we didn't have that. Somebody wrote ours in with a permanent marker. They ain't misspelled words and stuff. You didn't know which door to go in. When I was in the 5th grade, I ended up going in the mop closet. There was 2 dudes that shooting dice. And one dude said, he said, close door, you done knuckleheaded thug before you get us busted. Because the bus gonna kick your butt. And that was the principal. I guess he was leading by example, right? But see, y'all don't have those problems because y'all sign clearly say men, women, and others, or guys, gals, and others. Not ours. I said pintos and tricks. So,
At least you know which one to go in.
So my son, like I said, I was like messing with him, but one time he got me real good, right? We were remodeling his kitchen about 2 weeks ago. And he said, Dad, you don't tell a man how to do his job. But my mom always said, if you see something, say something. So I'm going to say something. I said, what is it? He said, you don't know what you doing, dude. So I giggled a little bit. I just started gathering all my stuff. If I ain't say nothing, he said, where you going? I said, I got to say in too. He said, what's that? I said, you want something done right, do it your goddamn self. And I left. He would call me every day trying to get that bathroom finished. So, my wife and I, in a couple of months, we're going to celebrate our 36th wedding anniversary. People ask me all the time, they say, what's the secret to staying married for so long? Well, there's a couple things that you and your spouse have to do in order to have a successful relationship. One thing you have to do, you have to work as a team. Because when you work as a team, you accomplish a lot of goals together. The second most important thing you have to do, you have to give each other space, because everybody needs that me time to unwind. Without that me time, y'all probably gonna each other's nerves and want to choke the shit out of each other. You're like, God, till you get in there, wash those dishes and fold those clothes. And that's my wife doing me like that. But now, see, my me time is watching sports, and my wife doesn't bother me. How many times we watch in the church services, but you better not interrupt her while she's doing it because she got the black food. Y'all know who Karen is, don't you? Well, I got the black version of Karen, and I nicknamed her Karen Nisha. I remember one time I was going to the kitchen to get something to eat, and she was watching Joe Osteen. He said something that got my attention. He said, you want a prosperous life, and I do just like everybody else. He said, remember these 3 things and repeat them to yourself 2 to 3 times a day out loud. I said, ooh wee. I don't know about that out loud part because Karen Nisha was going like the black food. But I went on deep because Joel told me to. And I've been prosperous ever since. So if y'all want a prosperous life, I need y'all to repeat after me. I am full of God. I am full of love. I am full of joy. So I said it again, but this time more enthusiasm. I said, I am full of God. I'm full of God. I'm full of love. Before I could say that thing, my wife jumped up off the couch, turned to Karen, and said, you are full of shit. No, the world is crazy, man. You can't go anywhere without something happening, right? You know, my wife and I, we went to church a couple of Sundays ago, and while they was passing around the offering plate, this white dude that was sitting next to me, he grabbed the plate and ran out the goddamn door, right? And the preacher yelled, he said, "Somebody stop that motherfucker, he got my car payment." He said, "Oops."
Righteous
So it's just me, or the older you get, the more you forget things, and the more you go to the doctor. Huh? Is it just me? Well, I was about to say, I know I can't be the only one that forget things. You know, when I was young, I used to have that whipple pill. Now all I have is a bag of pills. You know, for my wife's birthday, I surprised I made a candlelight dinner, but I forgot I left the oven on. So when she woke up the next day, she turned the oven on, she turned the Carolysha on me. She said, "You forgot to left the oven on all night. You could have burnt the house down with us in it." I said, "I wouldn't have burnt the house down." She said, "You don't know that." I said, "I do know that. Everybody from the ghetto know that. That's how we heat our houses in the winter." She said, "Oh, I wasn't raised like that." I said, "I know it. I'm sorry. I'll try and do better." So a couple of days passed by. I go to the kitchen, and I forgot what I went to the kitchen for. Have y'all ever done that? Yeah. I just drew a blank, right? So I'm standing there scratching my head like I always do, and I forget things. And as you can see, I scratched the afro off my head. My wife said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I forgot why I came to the kitchen." She said, "You sure are forgetful, lady. Do I need to call and make you an appointment to see the doctor?" I said, "No, I'll be okay." She said, "Are you sure? This could be the beginning of Alzheimer's." I said, "I'm sure." She said, "Okay, well, if you forget one more thing, I mean anything, I'm calling you an appointment to see the doctor." She said, "In the meantime, why don't you do this? Why don't you tie a string or something around your fingers to help you to remember things?" I read that actually worked. I said, "You know how to read?" She said, "Boy, don't play with me." I said, "Okay, I'll try." So a day or two passed by. My 8-year-old grandson came over to spend the weekend with us, and he brought his report card with him because we told him he made you grades on your report card. Papa was going to buy some Roblox for his phone. He loved playing Roblox, boy. So he showed us the report card. It was outstanding. He had all A's and 1 B. We told him how proud he was. He said, "Thank you. Dad, can we go get Roblox?" I guess he had time for the small talk. He wanted to get down to the nitty gritty. So I said, "Yeah, let's go." Papa needs to get something from the store anyway. So he hopped in the back seat, he buckled up, he immediately started playing on the phone. I get in the car, I buckled up, we took off. He was so quiet back there, I forgot that he was in the car. You know, I got to Walmart Park, got out, went inside, past the greeters that never greet. Y'all know the ones I'm talking about. I see you come, they turn their backs on you. Yeah, so I said, "Okay, no problem." I just head straight for the automotive department. I picked up 5 quarts of oil filter, and air filter. Now I'm sitting there thinking something else that I'm supposed to be getting. Now I want to call my wife and ask her, but she said next time I forget something, she's going to call me and they'll come to see the doctor. Now I don't know about y'all, but I don't like going to the doctor because every time I leave her, they give me another goddamn pill to take. Anybody else like that?
Every time.
Hey, I'm already up to 15 pills a day. I take one more pill, I might OD. Right? So I'm sitting there scratching my head thinking there's something else that I'm supposed to be getting. Then it dawned on me, I said, "Junior, he's going to need something for breakfast in the morning." I went and got some milk and cereal and I headed for the checkout, right? The checkout was really long. The little kids were in and out the line, just in and out, in and out. And I got PTSD and anxiety for water, so I snapped. I said, "Stop all that goddamn running." I said, "Stop all that goddamn running." Because my grandson and I have been doing push-ups and flutter kicks. I said, "Speaking of my grandson, where is my grandson?" I'm looking around, I said, "Oh man, I forgot him in the car." I said, "My wife gonna kill me." I ran out to the car, opened the back door, there he was still playing on his phone. He never looked up. I said, Junior, you ready to go?" He looked up, sweat was pouring down his face. He said, "We here already?" You know I had been in the store for about 30 minutes already, right? We get home and told my wife what happened. She hit the ceiling, boy. She said, that's it. You going to the doctor today. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Somebody could have stole to call my grandson in and done anything to him. I said, don't nobody want that hoopty. Yeah, you got to be a mechanic just to start that piece of crap. So we go to the doctor. The doctor comes to the back. He said, Mr. and Mrs. King, my name is Dr. Anderson. I'm at help today. Before I could say anything, my wife went off. She said, my husband got left the oven on all night. He could have burnt the house down with us in it. He forgot why he came in the kitchen. And tell him what you did today. You know how black people be doing it? I said, well, doctor. She said, he forgot to let my grandson in the car. Somebody could have stole the car within a minute. The doctor said, Mrs. King, I understand that you're upset, but I can assure you your husband wouldn't have burnt the house down. My wife said, you can't assure me of nothing. You a doctor. The doctor said, well, where I come from, that's how we heat our houses in the winter. Hey, y'all, this is my time, but you see these shirts right here? I'm selling these shirts at what we doing, halftime? Yeah, we're gonna take a 15-minute break, right? And these shirts, the money going to a good cause. This is an old white guy standing out in front of Walmart. He's a veteran and he's homeless. And I know he's not trying to just get my money or something. But because the dude got a dog and a basket. You know he's for real, right? So all the proceeds I sell these shirts for, I'm just gonna give it to him. And I'm selling for $20 or $35 for two. All right. And what it says is it's got RoboCop on here. And just imagine the people's in the military, right? He's trying to get disability. He all broke up, and they said we can give you like 10%. You know what I'm saying? So that's my time. My name is Hillary King. I'm a soldier of comedy. Thank you very much.
Carrollton King, everybody. One more time for him. Make sure you get your merch. Make sure you get your shirts.